Hi, friends. My name is Eli. I'm one of your co hosts of TechSoup Connect Canada. We're a volunteer led group of people putting together nonprofit focused events looking at technology. We're all sort of under the umbrella of TechSoup. I'm really excited today to bring in a repeat expert to give us these updates on what is happening in the fast moving world of AI.
So, hello everyone. I'm Deepa, and I've been working at the intersection of AI and social impact since 2023. I was one of the lucky ones to see the potential of AI back in 2023 when AI was relatively new, and I have been in the social impact space. So yeah, I've been like working hands-on with AI since 2023 and have really understood the space very well, like the technology and how it can be applied to the social impact space. I come from the social impact space. I've done all sorts of things from fundraising to giving out cloud technology to nonprofits in my role at Salesforce Foundation. So I understand technology and social impact really, really well. And so today we're just going to, this is basically what we're going to be covering. What is AI and how it works, the AI landscape and tools, because this space is evolving so rapidly that every 3 months, every month I'm in a workshop, I'm doing AI workshop and I have to update my slides because there are new tools and they're like even more easy to use than the tools that you might have encountered before, and why AI matters for nonprofits, AI for marketing, fundraising, how to prompt, we'll touch upon that and building your AI muscle. I think this is the most important part because if we do not build our AI muscle, we will never be able to use this new technology, which is very powerful. And it can really help us maximize our impact while reducing our effort taken to do that. Like these days, I just breeze through my day. My work is effortless. And sometimes I wonder like whether I'm working or not, but I'm actually doing far more work than I've ever done in my life before, but I just don't feel the pressure anymore. So I think that's really great. So yeah, a little bit about me. So I'm the founder of Grant Orb. It's an AI-powered grant system to help you 100x your grant funding. So if you think you can only do 5 grants a year, we want you to do 100 grants a year because it's possible and it's effortless. And previously, I co-founded United Way Mumbai. I've led philanthropy as Salesforce Foundation in Asia Pacific. I've worked as a fundraiser with WTO, a huge international sanitation nonprofit based in Singapore. And I've raised millions in funding from top foundations in Asia and America. And so I understand grants really, really well. So today we're going to understand, I think before we jump into the tools and why generative AI matters to nonprofits, I think it's very important that we understand what generative AI is because there's a lot of buzz about generative AI. Like you might be hearing a lot about it in the newspaper. People have all kinds of views about generative AI. And as a social entrepreneur, as a nonprofit professional, my take on generative AI has only been very positive because it's helped me immensely in my work. So generative AI, you can consider generative AI as a computer brain that has read all the books in the world, has seen all the movies in the world, has listened to all the music in the world, and can process information 1,000 times faster than human beings can. It can read like a 50-page document and summarize the document in like seconds, which is impossible for human beings to do. You can talk to this computer brain, which is very, very, I think it's the biggest differentiator that you can talk to the machine and give instructions in your language, be it in text, you can type it, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be English, you can type it in Spanish or French and ask it to give you a response back in English or in French. You can show, if you have difficulty communicating through text, you can show an image of, I don't know, like I can show like an image of this to an AI, like, and ask it to tell me everything about this, what are the colors and why is this happening? You can show a video, like you can put a YouTube link of a video and ask AI to summarize that video. And it'll do it in seconds. You can ask it to extract the most quotable quotes from that video. It'll do it in seconds. It can, you can create music. And if you are in a hurry and you don't even want to type or show an image, you can just literally talk your thoughts out to AI and AI can assist you. So this is, I think, the biggest differentiator of generative AI, that it can understand all forms of human communication. It's a computer brain that has seen the world, its collective intelligence, basically everything that we produced is now part of this computer brain. And it works at phenomenal speed. AI has always existed, even before generative AI, but that AI is kind of not the hardest thing anymore. It was mostly algorithms that were, deciding for us what should we see on social media or on LinkedIn, or what Netflix movie should we watch, what Amazon product should we buy based on our habits on those platforms. And so that's predictive AI, and it's still there. We see it every day on LinkedIn or different social media platforms. What we see is based on what we've, based on our behavior. But this AI has got nothing to do with that AI. This is generative AI. It generates based on all the knowledge that it has gathered, just like human beings. Once they gain experience and knowledge and they go to school, they're able to process all that information and generate new ideas. And so it's exactly that. And so it's trained on like vast amounts of data. These are models, they're called AI models. Another name for it is called the large language models. And they're trained on vast amount of data on the internet and the data that now they're creating synthetic data. So it's not just the data that humans have produced, but now AI itself is generating data to train AI models, which is far more sophisticated and far more high quality data, because not everything on the internet is high quality. And so it's trained on vast amounts of data, and the training is expensive and it has a cutoff date. And so sometimes when you're dealing with AI models, they might not have the latest information. It's based on by which data it was trained. But now most of the models have search inbuilt. They have a search as a tool. So you can get up-to-date information along with using AI models. So the way one of the AI scientists, he was Andre Karpathy, he was with Tesla, and he was the founding AI researcher with OpenAI behind ChatGPT. The way he explains these AI models is, think of them as a zip file of the internet. All of human knowledge has been compressed and put into these AI models. And I've already talked about the fact that they understand all forms of human communication, and they can synthesize various data inputs and perform tasks for us, not just give us information back, but they can also do tasks for us. For instance, Grant Orb can write you an entire grant proposal in minutes, and that's a task. You can ask an AI model to write an email for you. That's a task, right? So you can seek information, and you can ask these models to do tasks for you. So this is the generative AI landscape, and it's rapidly evolving. So if I come back for this talk in like another 3 months or in Jan next year, it's going to be vastly different. So there are two types of AI models. One are the chat-based models, and most of these chat-based models also now have images and videos integrated into them. But think of them as like they're two different kinds of models: transformer models and diffusion models. So these are chatbots. ChatGPT, they were the ones who introduced AI to the world, like generative AI to the world. So everybody still consider, when people think AI, they think ChatGPT, because they were the very first ones. And they launched in November 2022. And that's the first time people experienced these chatbots. But since then, there are many more chatbots, and they are equally great as ChatGPT, and some are even better than ChatGPT. Like, for instance, when I first got started, I started off with ChatGPT, and I had their subscription for the longest period of time. I finally gave up my ChatGPT subscription because I found my other favorite chatbots. So I have like 2 subscriptions. One is Gemini, because I absolutely love Gemini. It can do so much for you. It's like an entire team of creatives and knowledge workers and experts all together into one. And I also use Claude a lot in our at our startup, because Claude is really good with code. So my engineers are not coding anymore. None of the code is handwritten anymore. It's all AI generated. They are the ones telling the AI what to generate. So that's where the expertise come in. And I use it for writing a lot. So I love Claude. And I also use Grok, which is an AI by X, and it's fabulous. Like you can just have a Grok standalone app. So if even if you're not on X, you can just download the Grok app and you can use it on the go. Like I use it for shopping. Anywhere I go, like I'm very particular about what I buy and what's inside my, if I'm buying something, I want to know the ingredients and how healthy it is. Or if I'm buying a brand, I want to know how ethical the is. So these days, I just take a picture of the label and I just put it into Grok, and Grok does an analysis for me and tells me the whole history about the brand and the supply chain and stuff like that. So, and then there's Copilot. So if you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, which I bet a lot of nonprofits are, then you see something called Copilot, which is basically ChatGPT, but under the Microsoft hood. And Meta AI, like if you're using if you're using Facebook or WhatsApp, they have a little thing where an AI where you can chat with the AI, but usually I barely use it. It's there just to let you know it's there. And there's DeepSeek, which is an open source AI. So it's really, really good. You can download it or you can it's open source means you don't have to go log on to the internet to use it. If you can download the model on your laptop, you can just use it on your computer. And then these are all the creative side of AI. You can generate images. So there's Midjourney, Grok, Imagine 4 by Gemini. So it's a lot of them are integrated into the chatbots. So when you like using Grok or when you're using Gemini, you can also create images. And Gemini recently launched something called Nano Banana, which is amazing. It's a substitute for Photoshop. So you can just say in natural language, like add a hat to to something, it'll do that, or remove this, it'll do that. So it's basically highly sophisticated. And I'll show you some examples of that. ChatGPT also has image generation inbuilt. Bing is Microsoft. Grok Imagine is to create videos, and you can use images to create videos. You can use your existing images to create videos. So I take a lot of sunset pictures, and so I've been animating all my sunset pictures using Grok Imagine, and they're amazing. It's really, really, really nice. And then View 3 is inside Gemini. So if you're using the Gemini chatbot, then there's a video creation tool. You can use your image, or you can just put a text prompt and it'll generate like a 8-second long video with dialogues, with music, with background sounds, everything in 8 seconds, as long as you include it in the prompt. And I'm going to show you examples of that as well. I've been making like tons of commercials for Grant Orb because as a startup, we're bootstrapped. As a startup, we need to do as much in-house as possible. So we make use of all of these tools. And then Suno and Udio are great for creating music, AI music. I'll give you examples of that as well. And then this is again for Luma, Runway ML, and Halo. They're again like video generation tools. So yeah. So AI gives nonprofit superpowers, basically. So as I said, that my background is in the nonprofit space, and I've mostly worked with small nonprofits. And I know the pain points of working in a small nonprofit. Like you have to do everything, right? So you're a generalist, basically, which is great because AI is the era of generalist in a way, because you need to have knowledge of almost everything, because then now you can apply the knowledge alongside AI and do wonderful things. So even though I didn't have the skills, like as a fundraiser, marketing was also my responsibility. And I really did very well with, not that well, did really bad with designing like stuff. I had ideas, but I couldn't design stuff, right? So now I feel liberated because I can do all of that myself. Charts and visualizations are so painful. You take so much time visualizing and or putting charts about your impact reports. Like I worked with Salesforce Foundation, so we had dashboards as a core concept. And I know, like, even as a Salesforce Foundation person, like it was so hard for me to use dashboards. And this is despite I was made to do Salesforce 101 training, how to use Salesforce. So I couldn't create dashboards. It's hard. And then it's very hard for nonprofits too, because it's just hard, So, but now all of this is very easy. So you can literally create your logos. You can have a chat with the chatbot about branding, about colors, about fonts, about media assets. Like you can do deep research about your cause, about evidence-based practices. You can do strategy, like they have reasoning models. So you can put information about your nonprofit and say, this is what my nonprofit is, this is what we do, help us with our strategy for next year. And most of these models come with a standard model, which is like fast, like which doesn't think, it just spits out answers. But then there is a reasoning model, which takes time. Like if you select a reasoning model, it will take time to think through your problem and then suggest a response. So always, whenever you're doing strategy kind of work, always use the reasoning model. So you can design advocacy campaigns, your blogs, emails. These are all no-brainers. Like all of this, like everything that we do at a nonprofit, now we can do it alongside AI. You can do translations, like if you're serving multiple demographics, you can do instant translations. You can transcribe. You can, you've taken an image and it has certain text on it. You can just show it to AI and say, convert it into text. You can do that. You can summarize documents. I use this quite a bit, like summarizing, understanding grant documents, for instance, or understanding research reports and stuff. So nonprofit marketing with AI. So this picture actually, I took, so all the visuals that you're going to see, including the person with multiple hands, I've created them myself using different tools. So that one, the person with multiple hands, was created using ChatGPT. This one is used creating Flux. Flux is another open source image generation model, and it's really good. And this was basically, I wanted to highlight, I wanted to put a spotlight on climate crisis in a way, like, and this is Vancouver in the background, as you can see, and this is Jericho Beach. People from Vancouver are here. But there was literally a fire on the other side, and there were people swimming in the water as if nothing happened. So I just wanted to show how insensitive it become to climate issues. It doesn't affect us, or even if it affects us, we don't do anything about it. So that was the thought behind creating this image. And so now we have these amazing tools. And the thing is that you have to look at these tools as, or AI as, like, we are in the era of abundance. So we need to come out of scarcity mindset. We have to stop thinking, can we only create one image? No, you can create 100 variations if you want and pick the best one you want, So this is what I keep telling my people too, like all the Grant Orb, because can we only do 5 grants? I'm like, no, if you think there are 100 grants available for you, you can do them all, because we are in the age of abundance. And you can iterate on everything really fast. So this is Midjourney. This is my absolute favorite tool. I started using it in 2023, and I still use them despite of other tools that are available with ChatGPT and Gemini. I still have my Midjourney subscription. And the best part about Midjourney is that they have a social feed. So whatever you create, there's a feed. It gets submitted in that, or and so you can explore videos, you can explore styles. Like artists are creating their own AI styles, so you can explore styles and you can reuse everything. So it's like a sharing economy. You can reuse prompts, you can reuse styles, you can reuse videos, and it's beautiful because sometimes you don't have ideas like, what is this? Should I create? But then but I use Midjourney to get inspirations. Like I will say, for instance, if I want to create a community garden, I'll probably just search in the explore page. I'll put community garden as a tag, and then I'll search for all the images or videos around that. Anything that I like, I'll just reuse the prompt. It's that easy. And so iterations are really quick. So these are all the images that I've created. These are just very few of the images I've created. I must have created over 100 images by now. But what I'm also trying to say here is that you can create different styles, even if you don't have to stick to photography, or you don't have to stick to graphics. Like this is anime, literally. This is cartoon. So you can create different styles. You just have to include it in the prompt, what style you want. I'm going to show this video a little bit. Maybe I'll show you the whole video, because this is a video that I created using VO3. So if you have a Gemini subscription, you get VO3 part of it, and you can create videos, which comes, and you can include dialogues and stuff like that. I want you guys to hear this. You can create ads for your cause, and this is amazing.
We're in the field always, no time to sit and write grants. That's why I use Grant Orb. We're in the field always, no time to sit and write grants.
So basically this goes on, and I've created like 10 ads by now. And sometimes I forget that I have this tool, but the day I remember, oh, I've got VO3 and maybe I should go create some more ads. But so it's really powerful. Like this is another ad.
We know Kung Fu, but not grants. That's why we use Grant Orb.
And then I was talking about Nano Banana, which is now, if you go to Gemini again, you can create images. And under the image, if you have Gemini, maybe you can, you'll notice it yourself. There's like a banana emoji, which basically means there's a new editing model. So not only can you create images, but you can also edit images just by saying things. So for instance, this is a cat's image, one of my cat's image that I wanted to put in on the planet of Naboo. So basically I just said, add this cat on top of this. And then I can use this image and animate it using either Grok Imagine or using VO3 or using Mid-Journey. So you can go from like using your existing images and completely transforming them and then animating them if you want to. So that's Nano Banana. So you don't need to use Photoshop anymore. I never learned how to use Photoshop. So that's one of the reasons I'm so happy about this, because you can do amazing stuff. So this is my image. And I just asked it to put a style, like a style on top of it. So this is all done by Nano Banana, and it takes seconds to do this. Just to show how I end up using multiple tools, I want to show you this video as well. The image of this video. So first I created the image using Mid-Journey, and then Mid-Journey has like this auto animate button. So you don't even have to think of the prompt. You can just hit that button and it'll take that image and convert it into video. And at the end, I wanted to put my own branding. So I used Nano Banana to edit my screenshot. And the music that you hear is created using Suno, which is an AI music generation tool. That's free. So I keep creating ads. I've bought 1 star now that I have these tools. The other thing that I've been doing, which I just encountered, because I experiment with AI tools a lot. And one day, in the evening, I'm like just experimenting. So I have a blog that on LinkedIn where I write about AI for nonprofits, and I basically synthesize all the stuff that's happening in the AI world, because there's a lot of new stuff coming out every day. And I don't push out like news because I feel it overwhelms people. So what I do is I synthesize, and I only put out things that will be relevant to the nonprofit social impact space. So I've been writing since last year, and I create all my cover images using Mid-Journey. And then there's obviously the blog title. So now what I've been doing is I'm taking a screenshot of my blog, cover image in the title, and I've been putting it into Grok Imagine, which is Grok's image to video model, and just animating it. And then I resurface this back on LinkedIn or any of the social media platforms. And the reason why I said is like, you have now 1,000 ways to present your story again and again and again. Like if you created a piece of content, you want to reshare it, but you want to reshare it in different formats because people don't want to see the same format again and again. And these are just some of the creative ways to do it. So for instance, I created this AI for social good, your big fat guide. It's actually, everybody should, if you're looking for actual tips on creating, I share a lot of how-to tips on everything. So definitely take a look at this one. But so this is one. This is another piece I wrote recently. I mean, this is catchy on the like when on the social media feed, like it gets your attention, and yeah, you can also have speech. So this has background music, but in Grok Imagine, you can also say exactly the words you want to appear. You want that to have to be in the video. So I wrote one on grant funding in the age of AI, like what that means. So basically, it's fun, it's nice, it takes seconds, and then I post it on social media. And so this was, Sora was the first one, Sora is of chat text to video model. And they were the very first ones to actually show the world that you can do stuff like this. You can describe like snow and there'll be snow. Or you say cherry blossoms and there'll be cherry blossoms. Like there'll be an actual video generation of that. So this is actually one of my first videos ever, like that I used to create, using text to create a video. And I wanted to show the plight of polar bear, and it's pretty emotive actually. It can make you cry, but it's only 5 seconds. Like it's melting, it's shrinking, and it's stuck. The polar bear is stuck in the middle. So you can really do a pretty good job with storytelling. Again, this is just another graphic that I created with Midjourney. It has all the scribbles and all that stuff. It's like a design for a community garden. Things like that for your impact report. Maybe you want to use this. So I'm just showing you a variety of things that you can do. So when you go back, and you can do so much more, but this is just some of the stuff that you can do. So how to create epic AI images, like reuse prompts. I've already talked about that. Like it's a very generous place. Like people share their creations, and you can just hit on any creation and reuse the prompt. In Grok, imagine you don't even have to prompt. You can just put a basic prompt, like create an image of a cat. But what Grok does, it optimizes that prompt automatically and enhances it, so your output is better. You can also use AI chatbots to craft prompts. So you have a rough concept in your mind, and you can have a discussion with AI, and you can craft prompts. You can use AI to optimize prompts. Like you have a rough idea of what is it you want to prompt, but you want to enhance it further. You can use chatbots to do that. And image analysis, like say, for instance, you like something, like you've seen a brand or you've seen a website, like the homepage that you really like, and you want to deconstruct that so you can use it. You can take a screenshot of it. You can put it into AI chatbot. You can ask for the elements and what's, the font and everything. And then you can use that to then construct your own design or whatever that you're looking for. So you can use existing images as well. And again, this is a very long prompt, but the technology has improved quite a bit. And sometimes you don't need to go this long with the prompt. You can have shorter prompts. In fact, shorter prompts, they say, is better. But this was a long prompt, a very long prompt, which itself tells a story. And so I've just posted this image with the prompt. But initially, I'd created this image for my blog post that I wrote on AI and democracy. That's the prompt. But if you just read the prompt itself, it just tells the entire story of AI and democracy. And this is another one for that I created about a more, futuristic world, which is solar punk, which is community based, high technology, high nature. So it talks about that. And so you can do things like analyze image and suggest best images to use for your website promo reports and stuff. So what I've said is, like, AI can understand images as well. So what you can do is, you want to optimize for the highest impact or on the internet. So if you have like 4 images and you're really confused which one to use on your website or which one to use on your impact report or your promotional materials and stuff like that, you can just upload that into a chatbot, and the visual reasoning is very good. They can analyze all the 4 images and they can suggest which one to use. So I use that sometimes with my blogs, because I end up generating more than one image at times. And so I want to know, like, which one to use out of the 3 that I got. And so AI font is very good with suggesting which one to go with. You can generate captions. So you can put an image and ask AI to come up with inspiring quotes or a one-word title or a sentence or a hard-hitting quote based on the image that the AI sees. Use AI to analyze inspiring visuals. So I've already talked about that. Like if there's something that a visual you've seen somewhere that you really liked, you can use AI to analyze the elements of that visual. And based on that, you can use that information to create your own visual. And you can use images to even translate them into multiple languages. So this is just another example, like how I showed this image to ChatGPT and said that come up with 3 inspiring quotes, for instance. So it came up with that. Yeah, so that's about AI for marketing. And I think it's so critical because in our nonprofit world, we end up spending so much time telling stories, and we tell stories in different formats. It's either through our social media presence, it's either through our impact reports, it's either through our website, and through our newsletters, through our blogs. Like, all forms of communication that we do in the nonprofit space is basically storytelling. Why we exist, what are we doing, what has our impact been, and if an AI can really take your storytelling to the next level. And as I said, like, all of this will feel like a breeze. Like, creating any of this will feel like no work at all. Like, seriously, you'll get done so much faster, and struggle and stress and all of that will be out of your life. So fundraising with AI, this is another critical component. And obviously, all of this is connected, right? Like, if you tell a good story, then individual donors would want to donate to you. And if you tell a good story, but in a more structured way through grant writing, then the donor would want to give money to you. this is all we do as fundraisers, right? Like thank you notes and all of that. Like all of this is fundraising basically. And so I want to talk about Grant Orb. We started off thanks to Eli, with Eli, Vancouver, Canada in 2024 Jan. That's the first time I showed everybody what we built, which was basically an AI that can write a complete grant proposal based on your short description. So if you say, I want to start 5 community gardens in Vancouver, the AI will use that information and write like a 10-page long document based on that. Or it can write for any grant application. So it's not restricted to one kind of grant application. If you're applying to 5 different organizations and each one of them have 5 different grant forms, it can write to any of that, for any of that. But now, recently, just like a month ago, we've expanded our focus. So we want to also help you find grants because, as I said, a goal is to help you raise, write 1,000 grants. But I know people will think I'm crazy when I say that, but it's very much possible. But so I keep saying 100 grants. So we want to help you find grants. So we now have a grant scout agent. It's AI Scout. AI is, I want to add the word grant. Sorry, that makes me. So yeah, it's an AI grant scout agent, which is actively looking out for opportunities for you. So once you have your profile on with us, like you create a profile and you talk about, the basic stuff that the AI needs to know in order to find the most relevant matches for you. It'll just go around the internet like crazy and keep showing you what's coming up for you. And then you just say, I want to write all of these grants. The AI will create templates, application form for those grant applications. And then you create a grant to basically just describe your project. And you can now attach image. So you can even attach an image and say, you can attach an image of a solar pump future and say, I want to create more solar pump narrative. And so the AI will use that image. And what you said, the goal is to create more solar pump narrative. I'll write a whole grant proposal based on that. So you can also leave a voice note. So you can also talk out your idea because sometimes we have ideas that are unstructured, like we've thought about it, but we haven't formally written it down. So you can just talk about your idea and it'll use voice to write the entire proposal out for you. Or you can just type you can just dump your unstructured thoughts about what is it that you're trying to seek funding for, and it'll take that and it'll write the entire grant for you. So it's very magical. Everything is done in like 5 minutes. You can update with AI. Once you've generated your grant and you think, oh, I forgot to mention this, or I need to update my team members, you can make as many iterations as you like on your existing proposals. It's all takes 2 minutes to do it. So it's pretty magical. Like from where we are coming, where it takes 50 hours to write a grant, this is like done in 5 minutes. So yeah, this is basically, I've just taken screenshots to show you what exactly happens. Like it generates all of these documents, like all of these sections in like 5 minutes. We also have smart budgeting. So you don't even have to spend time thinking of the line item expenses. It just knows, like AI knows based on the nature of your project, what are the line item expenses? Sorry. So yeah, and then if you're into the ChatGPT ecosystem, then you can create custom GPTs for yourself too. Like if you want to, and again, how to go about creating custom GPTs is like basically you want to tell the GPT, I'll give it a very focused task, like do this for me. Like I want you to type thank you letters to my donors. And so what you can do is you can give it a style. This is my organization style. It's as warm and friendly and overly warm and friendly, or it's plain, simple, whatever it is. And so it's like give a voice, like tone, warm plus formal, calm, whatever. So the best part about this is that even if you don't know how to create a GPT, they have a little chat interface. And you can just say, hey, my goal is to create this donor engagement chatbot, which basically crafts personalized emails for different donors. How should I go about it? So just ask the chatbot. The chatbot will come up with the suggestions, and then if you think it's missed out something, then you can ask it to add. And like in about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you'll have like a chatbot for a very specific task set up. And if you're using Claude, they have a concept of creating projects, which is similar. Like you create a project and you give us for a very specific thing you are doing again and again, so you don't have to repeat your prompts. So you can attach documents and you can give very standard instructions. And every time you're doing the task, you don't have to repeat yourself. It knows the instructions and it'll just do it for you. So these are a few of the features, unexplored features, I would say, of chatbots. And then you can, let me show you this. So this is basically, I create all my product videos also using AI because, actually creating videos is very time consuming and editing is very time consuming too. Like you have to record first and you have to look good, you turn on the camera and all that stuff. And then you have to do editing later. You have to chop off all the unnecessary stuff you said. So in case of AI product videos, like HeyGen is the tool that I have used, but there's others too in the market. You can basically precisely type the text you want to say. And so it's very controlled. So the text gets converted into audio. And then you can use your image to animate it. And now I used this like about a year ago, but the technology has improved. They can also match your exact voice. You just have to leave a sample and they'll match it. And then you can use
Write grant reports in minutes with Grant Orb, the state-of-the-art AI grant writer.
It does make me laugh because it's not really my accent. But now it's improved. But it serves the purpose, like people understand, it's clear, it's this thing. And it's good. Like my video on my homepage is an AI, which is basically my image animated, like lip sync and everything. And there's text to video. And in real life, I actually speak very fast, but my friends are like, oh, but in that video, you're talking really slowly, which is great. And I'm like, yeah, because I adjusted the speed, like you can make it like 0.9 or 0.8 or something like that. So they're surprised that I can speak slowly as well. And this is one of my favorite features. This is chat with video. It's available in Gemini. Like you can drop a link to a YouTube video and you can say, based off this YouTube video link, tell me all the quotes or summarize the key points, or I use it to create blog posts. So because I do a lot of these workshops, like I'm doing right now, maybe I want to create a blog post about it and highlight the key points that were covered. So I'll drop, what I'll do is I'll drop the link and then I'll say, can you talk about the stuff that's being spoken in this video and use the language of the speaker or whatever. So you can make it as natural as possible. These are some random things, ways I use AI. Like this is a picture of like 4 different kinds of vegetables. And I'm like, what can I do with it? And it came up with recipes. So if you are into food security and, like that kind of area, like this is another creative use of AI. Like you can actually show images of ingredients and stuff, vegetables, and come up with healthy recipe ideas. And this is creating podcasts. So now, again, if you have a Gemini subscription, and let me tell you, if you're a nonprofit, I think just confirm this, but Gemini is by Google, and they're giving nonprofits free subscription, if I'm not mistaken. Like, so this needs to be confirmed, and I can maybe confirm this after this and let Eli know, so he can let you guys know. But I think it's one of the best subscriptions possible because you can do so much. Like you can create videos, images, nano banana, like you can edit, you can chat with the video, and you can create podcasts. So this is a course that I developed on how to start internet native organizations, also called as DAOs. And I wanted, now that I have this technology available, I wanted it to be in an audio format as well, so people can listen to it while they're in the bus or while they're sleeping or whatever. So,
have you heard about Ukraine DAO?
They used the power of the internet to raise $7 million in just 5 days to support their fight for freedom.
Wow.
That's the potential of impact DAOs, and we're diving deep into how they work, their impact, and how you can even get involved.
Ukraine DAO is a powerful example
of how quickly these decentralized organizations can mobilize resources for.
What you hear in this video, in this podcast, the 2 hosts that are discussing, they're AIs, they're not human beings. So Notebook LM is a very good tool because what you can do is if there's anything that's hard to consume, like any piece of information that's hard to consume in your organization, or say there's a research report or a policy, like I recently understood everything about stable coins, which is in the US, they've passed an act making stable coins legal. And I wanted to understand about it. So I just put the whole act into it and I converted it into a podcast and I heard the podcast and then I had more questions and then I chatted with Notebook LM to dive deeper into the Stablecoins Act, basically. So these are like really great ways to consume information. Also, like if you have policies within your organization, say you have a volunteer policy, you can also put it out as a podcast, or you can take a blog and put it out as a podcast because it takes like seconds to convert it into this format. We're almost, yeah. I'm going to need time, but this is like a song that I created using, you can also now communicate through songs. It's very easy, it takes seconds. So
I got 99 problems, but a brand ain't one. Grant Orb's here. The writing's done. Got proposals flying out. My success is spent. I'm like, Grant, what? App who? You use the old methods. I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems.
So this is one song. And then this is like for a lot of my AI workshops, I start off with this song, which is basically encouraging nonprofits to use AI.
With AI and put fire and touch, watch you multiply. Doing more, it's not a lie. AI and nonprofits are powerful lie.
So that's another songs. All these tools are available. And by the way, Suno and Audio gives you free credits. So I don't even have to pay for it. I just use them to create music. And yeah, they have certain things like the music that you create under the free license, you cannot commercialize it, which is fine. I'm not commercializing it. But if you want to commercialize it, then you have to pay. And so I want to touch upon this, how to prompt, like be specific in your ask. If you're vague, you'll be punished. If you're specific, you'll be rewarded. Provide context. So just like you work with employees, say you have an intern or a volunteer, you do transfer knowledge to that person, right? Like you don't just say, do this. Because then the person will do something else and you expected the person to do something else. So, and this is a common problem when you are dealing with chatbots. People don't provide context. They put in a word and they expect AI to know everything about that and then give you the proper answer. But it doesn't work like that. You have to transfer the knowledge to AI. Break tasks into smaller steps. So when you're talking with the chatbot, instead of doing your massive ask in one go, have smaller conversations with the AI. Start off with, today, I would love, this is my nonprofit and I'm exploring some branding concepts for my nonprofit. And this is what we do. So the AI will come up with something. Then you have another chat with the AI. Okay, what do you think about should be a font style and stuff? So break it, have smaller conversations rather than asking everything in the first go. Because then the way the attention mechanism works of AI is that you have to get them to focus. And the focus is achieved by engaging in smaller conversations. Open a new chat window for every query. So every time you are making you're asking for something different, always open a new chat window. And if your existing chat window gets very long, then the AI loses focus and context. So you need to cut that off and start a new chat and do the transfer of knowledge once again. Use AI to define your prompt. I do that. Iterating on anything is very fast with AI. And define the communication style. Like, you can say, I want this code in this, you want a writing style, right? Or you want like a branding style, or you want to design your website in a certain style. Then if you know a famous personality, like a branding personality or a website designer or something, you can always say in the style of, or like when I'm creating lyrics for my music, I will say in the style of Eminem. So then it knows the style and it'll create using that style. So this is a classic example of how precise you have to be. So this guy, he basically, this is a very confusing parking signboard. It has multiple conditions. But this guy was very precise. He's like, it's Wednesday at 4 p.m. Can I park at this spot right now? Tell me in one line. So even AI can be very verbose. Like if you don't specify, like you can say, tell me in 2 sentences or tell me in in a concise manner. If you don't want to specify that, AI can actually go on and give you a lot of stuff, which is basically just repeating itself. So, and then the ChatGPT said, yes, you can park for up to 1 hour starting at 4 p.m. And I did the same experiment, actually. I didn't realize how specific his prompt was. I was trying to park in Vancouver, and I took the signboard, something similar like this, like 100 different timing conditions. And I didn't say that. I just said, tell me if I can park. And the AI started analyzing each of these signs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is taking so much time. Like, it's going to read out every sign. But then I've now figured out, like, I have to be extremely precise. Like, I have to say this, literally this. It's so and so. Can I park at this spot? Tell me in one line. So that's being specific. And your AI muscle, this is just the start. Like, as I said, AI is rapidly evolving. This is the technology. Like, we can't hide. We can't hide from this technology anymore. We can't ignore it. And actually, as I said, like, as a social entrepreneur, nonprofit person, I'm so happy with this technology because I have so much time for myself now. And I go for bike rides mid-afternoon and stuff because everything gets done in seconds. And I don't feel guilty anymore. Like, I don't feel like, oh, my work's got done so quickly. Should I reread it? Should I reread it? Like, no, it's done and it's better than what you would have created yourself. Obviously, I read it once and I add to it, but initially I was like, oh, I'm not stressing enough. Maybe it's not done. That was my attitude initially, but now I've got rid of that attitude because I know it's even better than what I would have done. And so you need to build your AI muscle, and which means you need to start using AI every single day. Think with AI. Anything that you're thinking about, whatever you're trying to do at work, have a chatbot open and have a conversation with AI as if it's your friendly companion. You're just having a chat, and you will see that the quality of ideas and everything just improve 100x. Anything that you're doing, do it with AI, and you might not always receive like 100% perfect results at the first go, but then when you experiment and when you use every day, then you figure out what works, what doesn't work. Otherwise, you'll never figure out. And then ask AI first, like instead of going to your colleagues or going to anybody else, ask AI first. Like this, ask AI first is our a startup's AI policy. My engineers don't talk to me, and they highly encouraged me to talk to AI, and I'm so glad that they did that because it built my AI muscle. So initially, I would go and ask for some stuff that I didn't understand, and they would be like, "Ask AI," and I'm like, "Okay," and that's how I built my AI muscle. So I'm kind of glad that I did that. That's it.
So yeah, we do have a couple questions coming at us here. So Karen's question first, which is, how can I find that blog? Link is provided.
Yes.
I'll make sure that gets included in the post-event email we send out, which includes all, the video recording and the other resources. The other question I've got here is, so Mammy says, which AI tool would you recommend if someone was trying to play around with building a logo? Because there were so many image generation tools.
Gemini.
Where would you start?
Gemini, because now they have photo editing in it through Nano Banana. So you can edit. So if you don't like the first iteration, you can edit and you can do like crazy things with it. You can have a logo and you want it against a certain background. You can do that. And I know ChatGPT is also popular. So if you're already in ChatGPT ecosystem, I don't want you to go explore Gemini. But if you are not loyal to anybody, like I'm not loyal to any of the chatbots, I use them all. So you can use Gemini and you can use ChatGPT and see which one is better.
So that sort of brings me almost to the next thing, which is from Allison, who says, if possible, she would love like a live demo of you using one of these tools, just to sort of get a sense of what your workflow is. What do you think? Would you be open to like doing a logo development with us in real time?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Maybe Eli, our next workshop would be just live demos.
Yeah.
How about we take requests like today and then in the follow-up newsletter and just ask people what are the kind of things they would like to see live, like if VO3 live, like how to create commercials live, how to create bloggers live, how to create grants live. I'm happy to do anything live.
Cool. That's fabulous. So I've got another question here from Mella, who says, most donors wouldn't appreciate AI-generated grant proposals or fundraising materials. How do you navigate these kinds of issues of just maybe having a funder who has like maybe a rule or a policy around AI-generated grant proposals?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're using ChatGPT or if you're using chatbots, obviously the quality of grant proposals generated by those are different from the ones that Grant Orb generates, because Grant Orb actually has the expertise fed into the grant system. So you don't have to be knowledgeable about grants. It's a system designed to write expert grants. And as I said, like I've written grants and I always compare my old grants that won me money. And then I use those grants to generate grants to Grant Orb. And I'm like, wow, I really wish I had this before because it took the quality of my program design 1,000 times better. And so that's Grant Orb. But yeah, I do know a lot of foundations find it very like standard, but those are mostly chatbots written grants, it's different. And also like always add your own flair to it. Like even for my blogs and stuff, like I use Claude, as I said, for writing. And I always like, I'm the one who comes up with an outline. I'm the one who's telling Claude what I want Claude to write, because that initial idea has to come from you. It can't come from Claude. Otherwise, it'll be very standard. It'll be generic. And you don't want generic. So you need to guide the AI. And then when Claude comes up with a version and I'm saying, no, you didn't cover that, or you didn't do this, or you need to do this, and I want the style to be like this. And then sometimes I take Claude's work and I just put my own flair into it. I rewrite things myself. So it's a process. It's something you work alongside AI. So you're collaborating with AI because AI obviously can write, like it can write in 2 seconds while I will take probably 3 hours to write my blog. But the whole idea, the whole outline of what I want it to write, the whole angle of the blog, everything is provided by me. And then it's refined by me. And same goes with our engineers. Like you would say, why, like they're 100% writing, generating code using AI. They're not hand coding anymore. All our code, our new stack is completely designed for an AI first world, so we can push out more features quickly. It's faster.
So you still need like the taste, the experience.
The taste, exactly.
And sort of like the knowledge that comes from being the issue expert. So
yeah,
the robot might be good at writing, but you're
Yeah.
the expert in your organization and
Perfect.
your mission area.
Yeah, perfect. I think you did a great job summarizing that.
So I've got another question here from an environmental organization who is, and so Lisa's a bit concerned just about the heavy impact of these new technologies around power consumption and other things. Like, how do you sort of balance, your different values when
Yeah, no, I'm an environmentalist. I consume very little. I buy very little, and I don't travel unnecessarily. I do everything over Zoom, and that also consumes energy. So what I would say is that every shift in technology has required energy, right? Like we went from having no electricity to having electricity that led to industrialization and production, higher production, right? And then we went to the internet age and data centers. Every time we're using LinkedIn, every time we're using Facebook, every time we're using right now on Zoom, we're consuming energy, right? Like you go to the bookstores and there are so many books, and each of those books have taken energy from the time the author had to write, to publish, to print it on paper and put it there. And now you can gain that knowledge just by chatting with the chatbot. So if you do a relative comparison like that, I think the energy interaction with the chatbot is far more efficient than the buying of the book. What else I was going to say? So yeah, so AI is a next technological leap, and obviously we are now saying, oh, it requires energy, but maybe we didn't give this a thought when we went from no electricity to electricity. We didn't give energy a thought then, but we're giving it a thought now because it's happening. We're going through this phase right now. So that's how I think about it. And it increases productivity. If I'm an environmentalist, I can launch an entire campaign against fast fashion sitting from my laptop and really bring down those polluting brands, and through image generation and all of that, and spotlight the cause. Like I can do so much more.
So I've got a
one more thing. It's going to be powered. It's going to be powered by solar. So there are already talks of powering most of the data centers and the future AI development through solar. So it's going to be very solar punk.
So we've got an interesting comment here from Anna who says, as a funder, I encourage charities to use AI to make it easier because they want to be barrier-free and they know that not everyone has a grant writer in their organization, which is a nice piece of feedback to hear from a funder. And then have maybe our last question here which is from Ermela, who asks, like, so a lot of these services tend to need subscriptions. Some are a little bit free. How would you suggest
Yeah.
people sort of like put together their portfolio of tools, knowing that we can't all afford the pro tools to
Yeah, exactly.
use it for all of
I
them?
would say that almost all the chatbots you can start off free, but then you don't get the best models. And now ChatGPT, if you get started off free, you can't even select the model. You don't know which model is getting served to you. They might just be serving their old model to you, which was built like 2 years ago, when they just started off. And now they're ChatGPT 5, which is accessible to paid users, but you might be getting ChatGPT 4. So what I'm saying is that there are trade-offs for free. Like, obviously, if you want to just figure out AI, use free. But if you're serious about AI, and which I would say be serious about AI, go for a paid version. Definitely, I'm going to look into Gemini and going to let you people know if it's free for nonprofits, because Gemini is an all-inclusive everything. Like, you can create videos, images, notebook LM, chatbots, talk to your YouTube link. I feel like you get so much value out of Gemini. And then they give you storage also, all of that, like 2 terabytes of storage comes with. So it gives me like so much value that I can't complain. And Claude is, just because I'm the second one, and we use it for code generation. We have Claude's subscription as well. So I think with Gemini, you're good. You don't need anything else. You don't need. It's everything: image, video, podcast, chatbot, everything. So if you are really like, you want to just go with one, I would just highly encourage Gemini. And right now, Grok, imagine, is free. And it's really good. It's very addictive. Like, because you don't even have to think too much about animating images. It does everything for you. So I would say download the Grok app. It's independent of X, and start using Grok Imagine. It's free. And what else? That's it. I mean, if you're still with ChatGPT, I think they give discounts to nonprofits. There's a nonprofit discount. But I'm off ChatGPT now because I don't, I get my value from Gemini and Claude. Grok, let me put that. Grok AI. They have an app, mobile app, so and the mobile experience is really, really good. So just download that.
Great. Well, we are over schedule. I'm delighted that so many of you were able to stay late with us today. We are going to package this all up by probably the end of the week. So you'll have the recording available and some of the key links that were shared as well. And I'll make sure everyone has access to that in an email. Otherwise, Deepa, I want to say thank you so much for being one of our recurring experts that we can turn to help us navigate these kinds of events. And I think it'd be really cool, as you just said, like earlier, to put together a bit of an event where we could have a couple
live demos.
Yeah, exactly. Live demos. People could basically say, like, show me these kinds of things. And maybe we spend an hour looking at.
Yeah, let's do
really
that. Like, I would love to do that, because I think you get a real feel by seeing in reality, and and how you iterate even if you make mistakes, things like that.
Fabulous. Well, then let's build towards that. I will put
Yes.
that on my list of to-dos. Otherwise, thank you all for staying. And again, Deepa, we'll put you to work again in the future. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time.